market that have been moving, including Bitcoin, which is above 105,000. You want to, and by the way, the related assets to the move are all down week to date. Riot, Coinbase, Robinhood, MicroStrategy. You've got Robinhood, obviously. What do you make of what's happening here? Is this just a de-risking move?
We were talking about shadow markets earlier. If you want to talk about shadow markets, there's an incredible amount of leverage in cryptocurrency. And when Trump announced the tariffs again on China, I think it was October 10th and 11th, that you actually had the largest one-day auto liquidation in crypto. It was $19 billion. That's really, if you put a chart, I think the beginning of where you started to see unease. These auto liquidations just automatically occur at the different, we'll call them custodians. And so I do think this margin level, people have to watch that. You can find sites to see that, but to me that started it. So now you have to find a technical bottom. And I think just as momentum is starting to be questioned, Bitcoin's clearly going to be on the correlated side of lack of momentum.
All right, so we're looking at the chart and we see this Bitcoin chart, right? I believe the high for Bitcoin is 123,000. Give me 1 second. $126,000. 126,000 is the high for Bitcoin, right? We've seen it come down. If you look at the chart right there, right, it has come down. I remember I woke up, I believe it was this morning. This was early this morning, Friday, and I seen Bitcoin drop all the way down to 104,000, and I was like, "Oh my Lord, we need to buy more." See, when I wake up and I start to see huge dips, I look at it from an opportunity perspective only. I don't look at it from a fear perspective. It don't correlate in my mind that way. I said to myself, if Bitcoin got under 110, especially if it got into the 90s, I'm buying as much as I possibly can. And I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. I made a purchase of Bitcoin today at 105. Right. I said to myself, okay, look, I'm looking at the money, looking at how we can move money around. Where can we get some thousands of dollars from? Yes, I bought a few $1,000s of Bitcoin at 105. A few $1,000s worth of Bitcoin. I understand I don't got $106,000 just to be putting down on Bitcoin at the moment. I wish I did, but I don't. But we put a few $1,000s on Bitcoin today on the dip to 105. I wish I can get it at 104. I couldn't. It was before the market opened. I couldn't get there at that time. But 105, we got into it at 105. And currently at the moment, it is at 107. This is why it's important as investors that we take advantage of opportunities when they come. Sure, there will be another drawdown in Bitcoin. There will be. I was just having a conversation with a friend a couple of days ago about the possibility that Bitcoin will come down to the 80s or 90s at some point next year. And I said to him, I said, listen, if Bitcoin hit 80,000, I would find every asset class that I have, and I would try to get some money to buy one Bitcoin. If Bitcoin were to come back down into the 80s, I mean 70s, my goodness, I'm buying a Bitcoin. Absolutely. Because we know Bitcoin to be something that from a long-term perspective, this is one of the best investments that you can have long-term. It is very much a risk, sure, absolutely. But long-term, from all that we have seen, we've seen adoption from companies, banks. And the one thing that you need to realize is when banks get involved, when hedge funds get involved, they're not putting millions and billions of dollars into an asset class that's not going to work out. Follow the money. It's not hard. If you see billions and you see a president that's invested over $800 million into Bitcoin, the president of our country, the United States of America, Donald Trump, has invested over $80,000. I'm sorry, $80 million into Bitcoin. What more do you need to see for you to invest in Bitcoin? And I'm not saying investing in crypto as a whole, but what more do you need to see? If you got BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, look it up. Trillions of dollars under asset management. If you got Vanguard, if you have our president, if you have banks, JP Morgan and Chase, if you got, whoever at the billionaire level that's telling you, hey, listen, we put our money into this asset class, and we believe in it, and now we're going to then adopt it, and then we're going to put policy towards it when it comes to this country, right? And I believe the Genius Act by the United States and by our president. What more do you need to see when it comes to crypto and specifically Bitcoin? There's nothing else that need to be said. So from my standpoint, opportunities present themselves, as Troy would say, fire. You gotta execute at the highest level. There's nothing else that we need to talk about. Execute at the highest level. When you see great companies like Nvidia come down in the 70s, man, I seen Nvidia jump down as 170. I believe it was 177 a few days ago. I said, okay, sure. Would we love it at 160 something? Sure, we would. But I might not ever see it at 170 again. At least not right now. So you know what? I'm gonna buy a 9-month out option, a 200 strike price, and I bought Nvidia at 177 for August of 2026 for a 200 strike price just a few days ago. When the opportunities come, you take advantage of those opportunities. You know what Nvidia's share price is right now? 183. I'm up already over 30% on that trade. When you see the opportunity come, take advantage of the opportunity. So as I said, this morning when I woke up, Bitcoin was 104. I said, okay, I need to figure out how I can move some money around to ensure that I can invest some money into Bitcoin. And we invested a few thousands of dollars into Bitcoin today at 105.
You just stay with what you have?
Yeah,
no moves, whether it's the iBit, Grayscale,
well, with
Bitmine.
Yeah, well, BMNR, I love selling calls against that. There's so much volatility. And so I think if you don't have calls, you can still get 10% call premium for selling like 10% out of the money calls on Bitmine. So that's the way I'm going to play that and just get that income while the asset class continues to be volatile.
Why? So I assume you're sticking around or what?
I'm sticking around. Look, it's not a big position at all, and it's smaller now than it was a couple of weeks ago. But what you say underscores it. And look, I still don't know what the use case is, but I own it because I still think there's momentum that's going to come into it over time. President Trump, it's a large part of his net worth. So I'm hanging.
What did he just say? Like, I just said this. I literally just said this. He said, listen, I don't understand it. I don't know too much about it. What I do know is his policy towards it. He said the president of the United States owns it at $800 million. It ain't nothing else that need to be talked about. It ain't nothing else that need to be said. This gentleman is a Wall Street analyst for a huge major hedge fund. He said, I don't know what it is. It don't matter. A president of the United States owns it, $800 million worth of it, and a country is putting Genius Acts and policy towards it. Big hedge funds is buying it. That's all I need to know to buy it myself. I just said that. So if you are someone that's right now sitting on the sideline and saying, Bitcoin risky, it came back down to 20,000 and, it was up to, 70,000, came back down to 20. And then it rose up to now it went up to 126 and now it came back down to 104. I don't know if I want to, invest in it. Okay. Just don't be mad and don't be a victim. In 10 years, when Bitcoin is at 500,000, and you're like, oh my Lord, I should have at least put some money towards it. Or as a parent like me that has children, I look at the fact that, hey, this might just be for my children. This might not necessarily be for me per se, but putting a little bit of money towards this asset, digital asset class, may ensure that my children, my son, my daughter, my children, ultimately in the end, have this digital asset for themselves that's going to then grow to be something amazing ultimately in the future.